What's up, everyone? This is Elliott Connie, and for over 15 years, I've helped hundreds of thousands of counselors support their clients in finding solutions for their everyday lives, and worked with tens of thousands of clients on my own. And today I want to welcome you back from the aha moments where every day I share the lessons I've learned in my work and in my life to inspire you to live your very best life. And today I want to talk to you about something hard, sensitive, something that is important to me, and I think it's important to you too. When I decided to do this podcast, when I decided to do the Aha Moment series, I really went into this saying, I'm going to be totally transparent, totally honest, and share truly the lessons I've learned from working with clients and the lessons I've learned in my life. And one of the things that has been a huge part of my life's journey is my relationship with fitness and health. Growing up, I was really, really athletic. And I was really, really successful as an athlete, and I could eat just about anything I wanted to without significant consequence. Believe it or not, I remember after all of the games when I was successful, my dad or coaches would take us to Burger King. There was a Burger King local to where I lived, and they would say, "What do you want?" And I would say, "A double Whopper with cheese." I would just smash that thing and really wouldn't pay a huge consequence because I would go to practice every day and I was working out to be fit for the job that I had to do related to athletics. And I went to college and it was a similar experience. I would go to the college cafeteria and eat anything I wanted to and go to practice the next day and just kind of burn all that stuff off and just be healthy. But then my college athletic career ended and I still had another year of college to go to get my degree. And I'll never forget, in that year I made some really good friends. And, before social media was a thing, people in college used to take a bunch of pictures and they would put their pictures up on the wall in their dorm room. And I knew I had gained a little bit of weight once I stopped playing sports. But one day I walked into my buddy's dorm room and he had all these pictures up on the wall. And I was looking at the picture. I was like, "Oh, that's a cool picture of so-and-so. And that's a cool picture of so-and-so." And I saw this picture and I said, "Oh, who's that?" And it was me. I had gained so much weight that I was actually unrecognizable to myself in this picture. I took that picture off the wall, and I still have that picture, by the way. I took that picture off the wall. I was embarrassed by it. It became a motivator to me, and I started working really, really hard to get into shape. I started working out, an hour or two a day, 5 or 6 days a week. And I learned that working out is not just something that you need to do because you're an athlete. It's something that you need to do because you want to take care of yourself. We have to treat our bodies as if what we do with them and what we put into them will make a difference, right? And think about your car, for example. You wouldn't just put any old thing in your car. We have a manual. When you buy a new car, there's a manual, a really, really thick manual that tells you how to treat your car, what fluids to put into your car, what performance expectations you should have from your car. We need to treat our bodies with that same level of detail and care. We need to be really careful about what we put into our bodies and what expectations we have for performance coming from our bodies. This stuff matters. I was so brainwashed growing up to think that physical fitness was just something that had to do with my athletic goals. But the truth is, physical fitness is much more about how we treat our bodies and how our bodies perform as a consequence of how we treat them. If you want your body to last throughout the life cycle and be able to perform and not have pain and not lose function of certain joints, then we have to treat our body with a certain level of care. But another part of this is also what happens to your mental health when you take care of your physical health. One of the things that happened, I'll never forget working out back then and realizing that working out is something that you should do just as a consequence of cherishing your body. But I started noticing myself becoming more confident. I started noticing myself feeling better. I started noticing myself stepping into goals with the expectation that I could succeed. I started noticing that I was flourishing beyond just what I was doing to my body. My mental health was improving as well. And it makes sense, right? Because your brain is a part of your body. So if you're treating your overall body in a more healthy way, then you will also be treating your brain in a more healthy way, and your brain will reward you. One of the consequences of that is your brain will perform better. And so I'm going to get super technical here. There are chemicals in your body that really dictate how you feel. Mostly dopamine, norepinephrine, serotonin. Those are the three big ones. And when you treat your body well, those things kind of equal out and your mood stays stable, your happiness level stays stable, and your resilience goes up just from how you treat your body. Like, imagine how cool that is. You just start treating your body a little bit better, and your norepinephrine, serotonin, and dopamine kind of level out and reward you by helping you have a more happy and a more stable mood. So what I want to invite you guys to do is just think of ways that you could treat your body more healthy. And I don't mean like dieting and no, I just mean treat your body respectfully, kindly, and with care, and watch for the clues that your body is rewarding you for the way that you are treating it. Hey everyone, thanks so much for being here today. If you wouldn't mind, do me a super huge favor and share this podcast on your social media platforms or with at least one person that you think could benefit from hearing this message today. And don't forget to subscribe to this podcast on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to your podcast. Rate this podcast, leave feedback, and I will see you tomorrow. What's up, everyone? This is Elliott Connie, and for over 15 years, I've helped hundreds of thousands of counselors support their clients in finding solutions for their everyday lives, and worked with tens of thousands of clients on my own. And today I want to welcome you back to the aha moments where every day I share the lessons I've learned in my work and in my life to inspire you to live your very best life. And today I want to keep talking to you about health, but specifically how to support people to make healthier choices in their lives, and how to support people to be the healthiest versions of themselves. And this is something that is near and dear to me. I have an uncle. His name is Uncle Jeffrey. Uncle Jeffrey was a hero to me. He was probably the single man I looked up to more than any other person I've ever met in this life. And he passed away a few years ago because he did not take care of himself. Now, he wasn't like morbidly obese or anything like that, but he did smoke and he did drink and he just didn't take care of himself. And then one day, doctor told him he needed to start making healthier choices, and he didn't really listen. Eventually had his lower leg amputated below the knee because of issues with diabetes. And I find myself wishing that he was still here. I find myself wishing that someone had loved him and cared enough for him to advocate for him, to help him make healthier choices. And as I think about that, like, how do we make the people around us, how do we help them make healthier choices? And how do we help them to be the better version of themselves? And I come up with one solid answer for this, and that is to inspire them. I think what we tend to do is we ridicule people who aren't making the healthiest choices, and we try to scare them. We try to tell them how bad smoking is for you, or how bad sugar or fatty foods are, or how bad it is not to exercise. We try to, like, if I tell you how bad it is, you'll eventually be scared enough to make better choices. But the truth is, that is not how you stand by someone and help them make changes. The best way to help someone make changes is to inspire them. Tell them that you believe in them. Let them know that you support them. Let them know that you're here for them. Tell them the truth about what you've been through. Tell them the truth about how much you care about them. Tell them the truth about what you see them capable of. Tell them everything you can tell them to let them know you love and care for them. Tell them how much you will miss them if they continue down a path of making choices, of producing unhealthy things in their life. Let them know that you care. I think the thing that we need to understand more than anything else is when you ridicule people, when you judge people who are not making healthy choices, you actually make them feel worse, which usually will drive them further into the unhealthy choices. We have to do something different, everybody. We got to build people up. We got to let people know that I see you in your wonderfulness. I see you in your beauty. I see you doing the best you can. You know, sometimes we're not making unhealthy choices because we don't know what's best, or we're not making unhealthy choices because we want to do unhealthy things. Sometimes we're making unhealthy choices because that's the best we can do at that time. Not everybody has been given a life that is easily managed. Some people have stressors that have been given to them that are really heavy and that really weigh upon them and really cause them to struggle. Some people's lives have been so complicated that food is the only thing that they control. You know, for example, when you have really, really controlling parents, it increases the likelihood that you will develop an eating disorder. Because when you have really, really controlling parents, one of the things you can control is how much food you put into your body. So, young people who have really, really controlling parents have a tendency to develop eating disorders because it's about control. Now, it's obviously an unhealthy choice, and it puts you at risk of lots of unhealthy things. But you don't need to be judged or criticized. You need to be loved and cared for and inspired. Someone needs to step up and say, I see you. I really think the greatest thing you can say to someone is, I see you. I see you struggling. I see you grinding. I see you working. I see you pushing. I see you doing the best you can. And when people feel seen, when people feel valued, they have a tendency to make better choices, including better choices for their health. So let's step aside from the criticism and the judgment, and let's stand by the people that we love and care for. Let's let them know that we see them. Let's let them know that we support them. Let's let them know that we love them no matter what their choices are. That is how you uplift someone, and that is how you help someone make real sustainable change in the way that they participate in their own health. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to pick 2 people in your life and inspire them, lift them up, let them know you care, let them know you see them, and then watch what happens in their lives. Thanks so much for being here today, everybody. Please do me a huge favor and share this podcast on your social media platforms, and share it with at least one person that you think could benefit from hearing this message today. And don't forget to head on over to Apple Podcasts, where you can subscribe to this podcast and rate this podcast, leave feedback for this podcast. I'd love to read your comments. In fact, do that wherever you consume your podcast. And I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. What's up, everyone? This is Elliott Connie. And for over 15 years, I've helped hundreds of thousands of counselors support their clients in finding solutions for their everyday lives, and worked with tens of thousands of clients on my own. And today I want to welcome you back to the aha moments, where every day I share the lessons that I've learned in my work and in my life to inspire you to live your very best life. You know, we have to be kinder to ourselves. We're on a fitness journey. We're working on our minds and our bodies, and we're trying to take care of ourselves in a more healthy way. One of the cycles is so often you want to get healthy and you try to take care of yourself, and then you make a bad choice, or you skip a workout here or there, or you eat a meal you shouldn't eat here or there, and you feel so down and depressed about it that you're more likely to eat another bad meal and you're less likely to go back to the gym. And I want to break that cycle by letting you know it is okay to fall off the wagon a bit. It's okay for life to be complicated and hard, and it's okay to pick yourself up and go back to the gym, or go back to your workout, or take that walk, or eat that salad, or whatever. It's okay to get back going. You know, I think back over the course of my life, my own experience with fitness, I have been, the majority of my life, a very healthy person. I grew up playing athletics and playing sports, and as a result worked out a lot and had a body that was representative of someone that worked out a lot, and representative of someone that took care of themselves. And then a crazy thing happened. I went to graduate school and was able to maintain my health to a large degree while I was in graduate school. Not perfectly, but certainly sufficient enough. When I graduated from graduate school, I got a license to practice psychotherapy and fulfill my dream of opening my own therapy practice. And over the course of the next 10 years, I got really, really unhealthy. My days were so packed with the stress of running a business and the time commitment of delivering my psychotherapy services. My most common day started at 10 a.m. and ended at 10 p.m. And I would see clients all throughout the day. And one of the things that I would do, which was super unhealthy, was by the time I was done, I was like starving, and there was nothing open at 10 p.m. where my office was except fast food places. So I would go to the local fast food place and I'd get a burger and french fries. I'd go back to my office, eat my burger and french fries, do about an hour's worth of paperwork, and then I would leave my office about 11 o'clock at night. That was my routine 6 days a week. I have no idea when I could have fit the gym in there, and I have no idea how I could have eaten healthier. It just was what it was for that period of time. And that's okay. It's okay to acknowledge that sometimes life is just complicated and full. I get really tired of these people who are like, if you really wanted to, you could fit it into your schedule. You know, my life was just really, really busy at that time. And I couldn't imagine when I would fit the gym into my schedule. And I couldn't imagine how I would be able to take care of my clients if I were not getting sleep. It was just a busy time for me. But things shifted, man. I had a bit of a health scare. My back went out, and I went to the hospital, and they took my blood, and they told me that my blood sugar level was high, and I needed to make some choices in my life to take care of that. And that was a turning point for me to realize I need to prioritize something other than professional success. You know, after I was busy as a private practitioner, I traveled the world living out of airports and eating almost all of my meals in airports and restaurants and living out of suitcases, literally traveling 500,000 miles a year. And I needed to kind of reset the bar from a health perspective. I needed to kind of reset the bar. I needed to do better and be better in terms of the way that I treated my body and forgive myself for some of the bad choices that I made throughout the years and forgive myself for some of the struggles that I put my body through and understand it's okay. Like, it is never too late to start taking care of your body. One of my favorite quotes, do you know the best time to plant a tree? The answer is 20 years ago. You want to know the second best time to plant a tree? The answer is today. So the best time to start taking care of your health is today. And understand that you're going to do that imperfectly because we are all imperfect, and that is okay. I want to ask you to write down your personal physical fitness goals, no matter how big or how small, just kind of jot them down somewhere. And then I want you to think about 3 traits you need to achieve those goals that you think you have inside of you. Persistence, bravery, courage, those sorts of things. And just have that on your mind. I promise you, it'll make a difference. Hey, thanks for being here today. If you wouldn't mind, please do me a huge favor and spread this message by sharing it on your social media platforms, or do me the favor of sharing it with at least one person that you think could benefit from hearing this message today. And also, don't forget to head on over to Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to your podcast and subscribe, rate, and leave feedback and comments for this podcast. It means the world to me. Thank you so much, and I'll see you tomorrow. What's up, everyone? This is Elliott Connie, and for over 15 years, I've helped hundreds of thousands of counselors support their clients in finding solutions for their everyday lives, and worked with tens of thousands of clients on my own. And today I want to welcome you back to the aha moments where every day I share the lessons I've learned in my work and in my life to inspire you to live your very best life. And today I want to talk to you about inspiration and really taking charge and being inspired to be your very best from a fitness and mental standpoint. I want to talk to you about the public figure that I follow the most, that is someone that inspires me. But I'm going to come with a warning, because if you listen to what I'm about to say and then you go look this person up, you're going to find really harsh, very severe language, like lots of curse words, lots of just really harsh, strong language. But I want to talk to you about why this person is so inspiring to me. Just like everybody else, every now and then I go down the rabbit hole of YouTube videos. I come across this guy, and the video is titled "The Toughest Man in the World." And I was curious about, like, who is it that they would say has the title of the toughest man in the world? Like, who is this? And I heard a story about this man named David Goggins. And David Goggins is a former Navy SEAL, and he is a ultra marathoner. And I heard this story about how David Goggins weighed almost 300 pounds, and I had a picture of it. Like, this guy weighs almost 300 pounds, over 300 pounds. And he used to come home from his job. He worked as a exterminator of, like, roaches. And he would come home from his job every night, and he'd eat a bag of chocolate donuts and drink chocolate milk. And he just felt like just low and like a loser and a failure and all the negative things you could feel. And then one day he was watching a Navy SEAL show called Buds, and he saw these really tough dudes doing really tough dude stuff, and it inspired him. So he went down to the Navy enrollment office. He literally, like, quit his job, goes down to the Navy enrollment office, and they tell him he's too heavy. He's got to lose a certain amount of pounds. He's got to lose like 90 pounds in 3 months. And he did it. But what touched me was the first time he tried to run to, like, lose this weight, he couldn't even run like a block, and he, like, cried that he wasn't going to make it. But he eventually lost the 90 pounds in the time that's allotted to him. Now, I'm really fascinated by people that encounter obstacles, but then climb over them. I'm really fascinated by people that somehow experience a significant obstacle, like something that legitimately gets in their way, but somehow finds a way through or over the obstacle. And not only does this man get over the obstacle, he gets into the Navy, he loses the 90 pounds, gets into the Navy, becomes a Navy SEAL, which are like the baddest dudes ever. He's the first man in the history of the Navy SEAL training to go through 3 hell weeks in 1 year, because he kept getting injured and he had to do Hell Week 3 times. And he gets out of the Navy and becomes an ultra marathoner, which is like running 100 miles in a 24-hour span. I'm so fascinated by mental toughness as much as I am physical fitness. And I don't think there's anybody that I have come across that embodies both more than David Goggins. And he wrote a book called Can't Hurt Me, where he talks about how he built his mentality. And somebody asked him once, do you think you're the toughest man in the world? And he said, when I'm running those marathons, I'm saying to myself, I'm the baddest dude on the planet. I'm the toughest boy. And with lots of expletives in there. Like, I'm the baddest dude on the planet. I'm the toughest man alive. No one can stop me. No one can beat me. Do I think it's true? No, who cares? But do I need to believe that it's true in that moment to help me keep running the marathon? And that's mental toughness, is being able to train your brain to focus on what it needs to focus on, to think about yourself in the way that makes it more likely you achieve a physical aim than less likely. There's nobody that embodies that more than David Goggins. And I'm curious, who motivates you? I'm curious, what are the lessons that you learn from the people that you watch? Because for me, David Goggins is someone that inspires me. And the lesson that I learned from him is you can train your brain just as much as you can train your body. So thanks for being here today, everyone. If you wouldn't mind, please do me a super huge favor and share this podcast on your social media platforms or with at least one person that you think could benefit from this message today. And don't forget to head on over to Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to your podcast, where you can subscribe, rate this podcast, and leave a comment. I'd love to hear what you guys think, and I will see you tomorrow. What's up, everyone? This is Elliott Connie. And for over 15 years, I've helped hundreds of thousands of counselors support their clients in finding solutions for their everyday lives and worked with tens of thousands of clients on my own. And today I want to welcome you back to the aha moments where every day I share the lessons I've learned in my work and in my life to inspire you to live your very best life. And today I want to talk to you about you. I want to talk about you and your fitness journey. And even more than that, I want to talk to you about you and your capabilities. I started off by saying I created this podcast so I could share the lessons I've learned in my work and in my life to inspire you to live your very best life. I want to tell you the number one lesson that I've learned. I want to tell you the key thing that stands above every other thing that I've learned. And I've learned lots of things from doing psychotherapy for 15 years. I've learned lots of things from working with the people that I've worked with over the time span of my career. But if there's one thing I've learned more than any other, that is you are more capable of accomplishing things than you could possibly imagine. And most people don't know that. And as a consequence of not knowing that, they set really, really small goals because we're afraid of disappointment. We're afraid of failure. We're afraid of letting people down. But the simple truth is, you are capable of so much more than you ever gave yourself credit for. You are capable of so much more than you ever thought was possible. You are capable of achieving your highest aims. You're capable of achieving every goal you've ever had in your life. But because you don't know that, you make decisions based on fear and insecurity. You make decisions based upon hesitations and insecurities. And it's such a difficult way to live your life and accomplish your goals. I think about some of the people in my life that I see that just have these amazing lives and they accomplish amazing things and they live the kind of lives that everybody is in awe of and aspires to live. And the number one thing that I think sets those people apart from everyone else is they set really big goals because they believe in themselves. When I look around, I'm just so surprised at how few people truly, honestly believe in themselves and what they're capable of achieving. That number one thing is the ultimate game changer. And as you start pursuing a goal, as you start working on your fitness, as you start trying to figure out who you are in this world and what you want to achieve, I want you to do that with the highest level of self-belief possible. One time I was walking with this person. We were walking across a college campus. A good friend of mine, we were walking across a college campus, and he had this dream. He wanted to become an astronaut. He wanted to work for NASA. And we were walking across the college campus, and we were 19, 20 years old at the time, kind of sophomore, junior years in college. And he starts talking about how he wants to be an astronaut. He wants to work for NASA. He wants to be an engineer, work for NASA, and fly in space. That's his biggest dream. And he starts telling the people that we're walking with that that's his biggest dream, that that's what he wants to do. And they start telling him how hard it is. And one person used the word impossible. And I noticed my good friend shut down, didn't say anything. He was quiet. We kept We kept walking. He was quiet after the person said that's impossible. And then eventually, as we're walking, the group disperses and me and my buddy are going in the same direction. We live in the same dorm. So everybody else kind of drops off because they're going in their direction. And me and my buddy keep walking in the same direction because we live in the same dorm. And he turns to me and he says, I hate when people say that. And I said, what? And he said, I just said out loud that I wanted to become an astronaut. I just told him what my goals were. And then he tells me that it's impossible. First thing, why would you say that to a friend? It's discouraging. If you're my friend, you would encourage me, not discourage me. And second thing is the fact that anyone in history has ever become an astronaut disproves the idea that it's impossible. And he looked at me and he said, Elliott, if they can do it, I can do it. That good friend eventually went on to become an engineer, went on to work for NASA. I'm not sure whether he went into space or not, but I know he became an engineer, and I know he became an engineer for NASA. And I want you to take that lesson. The fact that anyone has done it means it's possible. You know, when we have our fitness goals, we set these aims, like I want to lose this much weight. I want to be able to run this far, and I want to be able to run this fast. I want to be able to lift this kind of weight, or whatever it is. But just remember the lesson from a good buddy from college. The fact that anyone has done it is evidence that it's possible. And if it's possible, you can do it too. And I'm promising you, you are more capable than you are giving yourself credit for. So keep working hard, keep pushing forward. And I want you to carry the self-confidence of a knowing. And what I mean by knowing, like I want you to push and work towards your goals with the knowing that you will one day achieve your aim. And that, I promise you, will set you apart and increase the likelihood that you will have all of your biggest dreams come true. Listen, thanks so much for being here today. Please do me a huge favor and share this podcast on your social media platforms. It would mean the world to me. Share it with at least one person that you think could benefit from hearing this message today. And don't forget to head on over to Apple Podcast or wherever you subscribe, wherever you listen to your podcast, and subscribe, rate, and leave feedback for this podcast. And I will see you on Monday.